When a woman has already shown you high interest, the average man believes he's won the game. He thinks now is the time to speed things up, to lean in, to text more, to confess, to lock it down. But the truth is, this is when most men lose, because they mistake her high interest for guaranteed desire. What they don't understand is this: a woman's interest is a flame, not a foundation. It burns bright in the beginning, but it fades just as fast if not handled properly. Female attraction is deeply emotional, instinctive, and constantly responding to how you make her feel about herself in your presence, not once but repeatedly. And the moment you start acting like you've secured her, that intensity she felt begins to decay. Your pursuit must be as much about holding mystery as it is about showing effort. The first secret of female nature in this scenario is simple. Women are far more attracted to the emotional meaning behind your actions than the actions themselves. If you start texting her every morning because you're excited, she may like it for a few days. But if she starts feeling that you're doing it because you're afraid to lose her, she'll unconsciously devalue you. The key is not just to pursue, but to pursue from power. When you reach out, it must come from abundance, not scarcity. When you plan a date, it should come from the same grounded place as planning a business meeting or hitting the gym. Cool, intentional, no anxiety, no overthinking. She must feel that you want her, not that you need her. Because the second she feels needed, she becomes emotionally superior. And once that imbalance kicks in, her desire starts to retreat. Pursuing a woman who's already shown high interest isn't about doing more, it's about doing less with more impact. A compliment means nothing if it comes too easily. But if you pause, observe her, and then say one specific thing that no other man has noticed, that pierces her soul, that's high-value pursuit. It's not about flooding her phone with messages. It's about one well-timed call, where your tone is confident, your words are playful, and your attention is selective. That's what drives her wild. Women get emotionally attached through the space between the words, the pauses, the unpredictability, the presence that says, I'm here for now. You don't make her obsessed by being available. You make her obsessed by showing up with impact and then disappearing without apology. That rhythm creates the addictive loop women can't escape. Another truth men don't realize: just because she showed you interest doesn't mean her mind is made up. Female attraction is fluid. It rises and falls based on the emotional temperature you create. You can be winning one week and boring the next. What maintains her desire is tension, not arguments, not drama, but the electric tension of wondering what you're thinking, wondering if you're fully in or slightly pulling back, wondering why your attention is so powerful when it's there and so noticeable when it's gone. That tension is what makes a woman fantasize. And the man who can create it while still being respectful, kind, and masculine is the man she becomes addicted to. It's not about manipulation, it's about emotional understanding. You don't kill her desire by being bad, you kill it by being predictable. Now let's talk energy. If she's already interested, she's subconsciously scanning you for emotional strength. She's asking herself, is this man strong enough to not fall head over heels just because I smiled at him? Is he capable of holding himself together if I pull away a little? Is his life full enough that I'd have to fight for space in it? These are tests of hypergamy, and they are not always conscious, but they are always there. Your job isn't to react, it's to observe and respond with calm detachment. If she takes a little longer to reply, you don't panic. If she flirts with another man to test you, you don't crumble. You remain unshaken. And in that stillness, you awaken her deepest instinct to chase the man she can't rattle. That's the kind of pursuit she respects. Pursuit that's confident enough to never beg. You see, when a woman gives you those initial signs of attraction, laughing at your jokes, leaning in during conversation, texting you first, it's not a green light to floor the gas. It's a signal to slow down and sharpen your awareness. She's letting you in just enough to see if you know how to handle feminine energy. And if you fumble it, if you try to lock her in too fast, pour your heart out, or escalate emotionally before she's ready, she'll vanish without explanation. Why? Because she wants to feel elevated by your presence, not overwhelmed. A woman becomes obsessed with a man when she feels like she's constantly discovering new layers of him, when she realizes he's not immediately giving up all his cards just because she smiled his way. The pursuit isn't about proving yourself. It's about letting her prove herself to you, without ever saying it out loud. Pursuing her the right way means understanding the delicate art of delayed gratification. When she shows interest, you don't give her what she wants immediately. You let it build. You let the energy simmer. You don't jump to plan 3 more dates. You don't double text when she says she had fun. You let the silence speak. Why? Because women crave the emotional roller coaster far more than they crave consistency. This doesn't mean you ghost her or play games. It means you maintain the emotional polarity. You stay present when you're with her, and then you vanish into your mission when you're not. This push-pull dynamic is what keeps her mind spiraling around you at 2 a.m. Not because you're unavailable, but because you're selective. And every time you reappear, you reignite her curiosity. Curiosity is the seed of obsession, and obsession is the gateway to devotion. If she's shown you high interest, understand this: it's a privilege, not a promise. And how you handle that privilege defines whether she stays interested or quietly deletes your number a week later. Women are hyper-aware of emotional energy. If you get too excited too quickly, she feels the shift instantly. Your grounded presence suddenly becomes needy energy. Your confident tone becomes an eager one. And now, instead of chasing you, she starts wondering why she was ever attracted in the first place. Because her attraction wasn't to the words you said, it was to the space you held. A space of strength, unpredictability, direction. Lose that, and you lose her. So even when she's texting first, initiating hangouts, or showing signs of emotional openness, don't rush. Stay calm, stay focused. Let her meet you where you are, not where your anxiety wants to go. One of the most potent secrets of female nature is this: a woman falls in love with the version of herself that she experiences when she's with you. If she feels sexy, inspired, playful, and safe around you, she'll attach. But the second she starts feeling like your therapist, your mother, or your babysitter, she'll detach. And most men don't realize they're shifting those roles onto her until it's too late. How? By trauma dumping too early, by being indecisive, by asking for reassurance. She wanted a lover, not a liability. She was attracted to the man who walked in with purpose, charm, and inner stillness, not the man who now needs emotional caretaking because things got serious. To pursue her powerfully, you must continue to make her feel like she's being invited into something larger, not something heavier. Your energy should elevate her, not drain her. That's what keeps the flame alive. The right pursuit is rooted in emotional calibration. It's not about suppressing your desire, it's about refining your expression. You don't stop flirting, you just flirt with precision. You don't stop texting, you just do it with intention. You don't stop showing up, you just show up as the man who's still got his own world spinning. Because when she feels that you're chasing your mission more than you're chasing her, she starts seeing you as the high-value man that she needs to earn. And once that shift happens, the dynamic becomes magnetic. She starts investing more. She starts dressing better around you. She starts initiating affection, giving her time, asking about your life. Why? Because your pursuit wasn't desperate, it was directional. And now she doesn't just like you, she respects you. That's the kind of pursuit women dream about but rarely experience. A woman who's shown high interest doesn't want to lead the relationship, she wants to respond to your lead. But here's where most men go wrong. They start asking her what she wants. Instead of showing her what they offer, they ask her to define the relationship, to make the plans, to guide the emotional tone. And the moment she senses that responsibility shift onto her shoulders, she loses attraction. Not because she doesn't like you, but because you stopped being the man who directed the flow. You became the man who follows her mood. Pursuing her properly means crafting the moments you want to share, inviting her into your world, and never outsourcing leadership. She wants a man who creates structure, not chaos. She wants to fall into your frame, not question where your spine went. The moment she said, "I like you," women crave a man who knows how to keep a little mystery. And when she's already interested in you, this becomes 10 times more powerful, because now, every little detail you reveal becomes more valuable. Most guys think that once she's shown interest, it's time to open the floodgates. Here's my whole life story. Here's my trauma. Here's every insecurity I've buried. No. You give her the illusion of openness while keeping your soul guarded. You reveal just enough to intrigue her, never enough to exhaust her. Your silence should speak volumes. Your restraint should make her wonder what storms you've weathered and what secrets you keep under your calm demeanor. Because when a woman senses that there's more to discover in you, she keeps leaning in, she keeps chasing the depth. And that chase, that's where her obsession lives. A woman will test a man she's interested in, not to destroy him, but to understand him. When she delays her replies, when she becomes slightly colder, when she suddenly pulls back, it's not always because she's lost interest. Often it's because she's trying to see how much power she holds. She wants to know if you're emotionally centered or if your world shatters the moment her attention does. The man who passes that test doesn't chase harder. He doesn't ask what's wrong. He doesn't spiral into over-communication. He mirrors her energy calmly. He continues living. And that calmness, that silence, it drives her wild. It shows her you are not a man she can move at will. You are not addicted to her responses. You're grounded in something far deeper than a temporary emotional storm. That's when her tests turn into respect, and her coldness turns into craving. One of the most potent truths about pursuing women is this: don't pursue with your words, pursue with your presence. When she's around you, don't just talk, make her feel. Speak with purpose, touch with intention, hold eye contact like you're reading her soul. That's what makes her feel pursued, emotionally, sensually, spiritually. Not endless texts, not passive flattery. It's the way you make her question everything else in her life when she's next to you. And then, when you leave, leave cleanly. Don't linger, don't follow up with 15 emojis. Let her sit in that absence. Let her miss your energy. Because pursuit is not about proximity, it's about intensity. You show up like a force, and when you're gone, she feels it like a void. That contrast is what makes a woman remember you in ways she can't explain. It's not what you gave, it's how you disappeared. Pursuing a woman who's already shown you interest requires discipline. The discipline to not move faster than the pace of attraction. The discipline to let her initiate, sometimes without interpreting it as a loss of control. The discipline to maintain your mission when emotions want to pull you into overfocus. This is the part most men don't want to hear. You can ruin everything simply by giving too much too soon. You must pursue like a man who has options, like a man who's choosing her but isn't addicted to her, like a man who can love her deeply, but never more than he respects himself. Because the moment she senses that she's more important than your purpose, than your peace, than your path, she'll test you. And if you fail that test by orbiting her too closely, you'll watch her interest fade into dust. Not because she stopped liking you, but because you stopped leading. The most magnetic kind of pursuit is when she can feel your attraction without you ever needing to announce it. A subtle glance, a moment of silence where your eyes say more than your mouth ever could. A confidently withdrawn presence that tells her, I see you, but I don't need you. That's the paradox that keeps women hooked, being wanted, but not worshipped, admired, but not obsessed over. Women are drawn to mystery, not because it's vague, but because it invites them to participate. When you hold back just enough, you invite her curiosity, and when she's curious, she invests. The man who knows this doesn't rush to confess his feelings or declare intentions. He lets her draw conclusions, lets her imagination do half the work. And that right there is how you stay in her head long after you've left the room. Women don't want to be the center of your life. They want to orbit the life you've already built. When a woman shows interest, the best thing you can do is show her that your life doesn't pause just because she entered it. Keep your routines, keep your disciplines, keep your friends, keep your ambition roaring. She fell for the man who had a full cup. Don't empty it trying to fill hers. When you make her your center, she subconsciously feels the weight of carrying your happiness. That's not sexy, it's suffocating. But when she sees that your joy, your stability, your fire all existed before her and will exist with or without her, she feels freedom in your strength. Freedom to desire you without obligation. And in that freedom, she grows more deeply attached. Because love born from freedom, not pressure, is the kind that lasts. There's a seduction in the man who never reacts. When she pulls away slightly, you don't flinch. When she's cold one day and warm the next, you remain neutral. You don't mirror her chaos. You anchor her into stillness. That stillness is rare. That stillness is powerful. That stillness makes her believe you're not just a man but a force. And women don't forget forces. The average guy is constantly reacting, over-texting when she's quiet, panicking when she's distant, seeking validation after every date. But the man who understands the game doesn't play it, he transcends it. He makes her feel seen without needing to chase. He makes her feel wanted without ever needing to prove anything. And because he doesn't chase validation, he becomes the source of it. She comes back not because you followed her, but because she lost herself looking for you. One of the deepest truths you must accept is that women fall in love with how you make them feel, not who you are. You could have the status, the looks, the charm, but if your energy doesn't move her, it doesn't matter. And when she's already shown high interest, you're at the peak moment to shape those feelings. This is your window to anchor in emotional experiences that she can't forget. You do that by being fully present when you're with her, listening with depth, touching with intention, leading without hesitation, and then vanishing when needed, creating contrast. The memory of your presence should echo in her bones, not because you said the perfect line, but because your energy was unforgettable. That's the pursuit, making her feel so deeply when you're near that your absence becomes unbearable. True pursuit is not about effort, it's about impact. A single night with you should feel more real than a month with another man. A single glance should stir more emotion than 1,000 texts. A single decision should reveal more leadership than a dozen conversations, because women don't fall for words, they fall for essence, and your essence must say, I am whole without you, but I will choose you if you're worthy. That standard is what keeps her invested. That posture is what makes her chase you, not because you were aloof, not because you were cold, but because you radiated such self-possession, such focus, such depth, that she couldn't help but want to be claimed by it. That's how you pursue a woman who already likes you, by never forgetting who you are, even when she forgets who she is. The woman who's already interested in you doesn't want to be chased, she wants to be claimed. And there's a difference. Chasing implies desperation, proving, winning. Claiming implies confidence, certainty, presence. When you chase, you pedestalize her. When you claim, you invite her to stand beside you. Chasing says, please choose me. Claiming says, I've chosen myself, and I'm offering a seat in my kingdom. Women feel the difference. And the moment she sees that you're not there to earn her approval, but to offer her a space in something bigger than romance, she begins to feel something she rarely feels in the modern dating world. Safe. Safe to soften. Safe to be vulnerable. Safe to fall. But only because you didn't fall first. Only because you led with strength, not with need. Another secret most men miss is that attraction doesn't survive predictability. If she always knows when you'll text, always knows when you'll show up, always knows how you'll respond, she starts to feel secure, yes, but also bored. Women crave emotional contrast, highs and lows, silence and intensity, warmth and coldness, not in a manipulative way, but in a way that mimics the natural ebb and flow of masculine energy. You are not here to perform consistency like a machine. You are here to embody rhythm like a storm. She should never be certain which version of you she'll meet, but she should always be sure of your direction. This is why mysterious, disciplined men who pull away to build their life and return with fire in their eyes are the ones women obsess over. You're not always available, but you're always powerful. A woman doesn't measure your worth by how much you give, but by how much you withhold with purpose. She values the words you don't say more than the ones you do. She feels the power in the hug you don't offer right away. She respects the silence between texts more than a flurry of validation. Why? Because restraint signals mastery, and mastery is masculine. The more you give freely, the more she doubts its value. But when you drip your presence like a rare perfume, she savors it. This doesn't mean being emotionally unavailable or manipulative. It means being intentional. It means understanding that love, like any art, requires contrast. Darkness gives light its brilliance. Distance gives closeness its fire. And you, my friend, are not here to smother her. You're here to burn slowly until her soul is addicted to your flame. The final stretch of pursuing a woman who already likes you is to never stop being the man she first desired. So many men fall into the trap of securing her and then softening, relaxing, becoming complacent. They stop dressing well, stop leading, stop surprising her, stop pursuing their own goals, and in doing so, they stop being desirable. Remember, her interest was sparked by who you were before she had you. So don't let your pursuit become your peak. Let it become your baseline. Be the man who evolves, grows, strengthens, especially after she shows up. Let her realize that choosing you was only the beginning of the adventure, that the man she said yes to is just version 1.0, and that version 2.0 is already building. That's how you make her fall deeper over time. Not with flowers or poems, but with growth. In the end, pursuing a woman who's already shown interest isn't about strategy, it's about embodied presence. It's about being so fully in tune with your value, your path, your power, that she feels grateful to be around it. It's about knowing that women don't fall in love with pursuit. They fall in love with a man who's worth pursuing back. When you approach her not as a man seeking completion, but as a man offering overflow, she responds with reverence. And when you balance warmth with distance, strength with softness, fire with silence, she doesn't just like you, she remembers you. You imprint on her heart, not by what you say, but by how you move. So move with intention, speak with purpose, and always, let your presence do the pursuing long after your words have stopped.